that was the introduction and the first verse of Mance Lipscomb's version of Come Back Baby. Walter Davis composition, the piano player. And Mance recorded it on, I think, his second or third album anyway. And I will teach you the introduction later, and in the video description here below you can find a tab to that. And but first I would like to talk a bit about the bass, because that's the main reason why I'm doing this lesson. Often when I read articles about Mance or liner notes, it is often mentioned that he played with a muffled bass, and I don't think that it's 100% true. He muffled his bass, but in a special way. And if I would play the first couple bars of the introduction with a really muffled bass, and by that I mean I place my hand on the bridge and on the strings, so the bass strings are muffled, it would sound like this. Not exactly how Mance did. This bass is more like, for example, Chet Atkins or Merle Travis played. The hand stays fixed on the bridge and one or two fingers on the top of the guitar. Now, he didn't play open, the open strings, well, open with his hand, not muting the strings neither. It would sound like this then. Not bluesy at all, I think. No, he did something in between. And I also placed in the video description a link to a video. It's called Two Songs by Mance Lipscomb, and the second song he plays going down slow, or I Had My Fun. And the camera angle at some time, he films the hand from behind. And you can really see here that it becomes dark and light. So he moves his hand up and down, almost invisible, but he does it. And because of the light you can, well, witness it. So what he does is like this. He goes down, plays the strings open, and when he comes up, he mutes them with the palm of his hand. And notice that I'm touching with my fingers here the top of the guitar, but I'm not anchoring, because if you anchor, it would become difficult to do that and play then trebles at the same time. So your hand is kind of loose. And it's a mixed motion. Your thumb moves, but your hand as well. Like that. And that's what you heard me playing the introduction. And it depends, of course, what you're playing with your left hand. Sometimes you don't have time to do that. When there's an intricate run with the trebles, you might more mute it, like I did before. But the main bass is that, I call it the country blues bass, because it's really unique to country blues. And for those who don't want to play with a thumb pick, you can do that with your thumb as well. You see, it works. But as I play it, that's a mixture of flesh and nail. This is flesh only. It's rather dull, and this is with the nail. It's the side of the nail that really touches the strings, so you have 50% nail and 50% flesh. So, I'm not the first one to discover this. I also placed in the video description a link to a video by Bernie Pearl, a real veteran bluesman, a very nice and excellent bluesman. And he hung around with Lightnin and Mance and learned it from them firsthand. And the only difference is that he tells you to anchor your fingers, and I think that's a limitation, and that's not exactly what Mance do. And if you watch his videos, you will see that the whole hand moves slightly and is not making permanent contact with the top, the finger. Then I'm talking about these two fingers here. And Mance played only with index and thumb, so he rested almost 3 fingers, went like that. Okay, I'll go over the introduction now. And it starts, well, with an A chord. It's in the key of A, a long A, and goes like this. And I'm sliding up and sliding down. And the down slide is not the whole chord. For example, the first fret, no. It starts with the index on the first string, but it loses contact after the second fret. But you get that downward feeling. And it's especially the third finger that you hear sliding to the third fret. And then followed by the third string second fret. You know, Mance and I, in this case, play really hard. The thumb hits 2 or 3 strings maybe, and also the trebles, the upstrokes hit 1 or 2 strings. And for example, with this run, we don't want that open third string to ring. So what I do is simply move up my third finger that plays the second string, so that the third string is muted. So then I can really hard. If I wouldn't do that, it'd sound like this. You see? Third string rings with. That's muted. You hear the percussive sound even. The second bar we have a triplet. The same thing. Now we go to a D chord on the 5th and 7th fret. Double bass. A fret. And possibly he would go 2 times to the 5th fret. But I did 4th fret and 5th fret anyway. And that second slide down, try to delay it a bit. Like that. We'll go to an E7, and here really hit the bass very strong. Also the treble, the upstrokes are really strong. To that D chord. And in the tab I omitted 1 bass, I put it in parentheses. And I don't play it, but he thumbs all the time. And so on. So that was a turnaround, of course. And notice that last beat. I prefer the long A chords with 2 strings fretted at the 5th fret. Sounds a little bit bluesier, I think. Instead of. That's just a matter of opinion, of course. So, that was it for the introduction. And check out Bernie's video as well, and especially Mance's videos. They're very really, well, you can learn a lot from it. And I will do Mance Lipscomb ebook in a couple of weeks, and I will teach you 4 or 5 songs, and this one will be part of it. I will do the introduction you already had, the verse, typical verse, a bit different with some Lightnin Hopkins influence also, and 2 solos that Mance played and 1 solo that Lightnin Hopkins played in his version. He has a very good version, very different than this, which he recorded in the early 50s when he was playing electric guitar, and it's a very cool version. Try to look it up. Maybe if I think about it, I'll place a link to in the video description. Okay, have fun.